Hey, you're back with the Get Out of Debt Guy podcast. I'm Steve Rowe. The old Get Out of Debt Guy with me is Damon Day, the new Get Out of Debt Guy.
Unless you're new, then you're not back. You're here.
You're here now. Hey, and while you're here now, do us a solid and go ahead and like this podcast and give us a comment in the comment section. If you have a question, you've thought of anything, it just gives us a little boost on whatever platform you're listening on. And so we appreciate it. Damon, we're back talking about personal finance, money problems. And it's interesting. Before we did this podcast, I was looking up, hey, what's a new idea of something that we could talk about? And it is just amazing that personal finance surrounds just like the same basic topics. You don't need to, have a PhD. There's not necessarily anything that's like breaking news. So dealing with money is either about managing your money, saving, investing, budgeting, or financial literacy. It's all basic stuff that you and I have covered for the last 30 effing years. And
Yeah,
so,
you jumped onto Chat GPT and you're just like, what was your thing? Like hot
oh,
topics in personal
yeah,
finance. And
yeah.
what were they? What are the hot topics in personal finance today, Steve?
Yeah, it was nothing really stimulating.
Yeah, it was money management, budgeting, whatever. It was all just basic, boring crap. But you know what? That's personal finance. Basic, boring crap. There's a and it hasn't really changed. It's all the same. But we do have a topic today that we've covered before, but it's been a while. What is that, Steve?
We're going to talk about the ridiculousness of student loans. And again, the whole federal student loan thing is back in limbo or purgatory or whatever religion misplacement place you believe in, because now the Biden Save program, which was going to eliminate debt and reduce people's payments, is now back on hold. It's in forbearance again while it works its way through the courts. A couple of Republican state attorney generals sued, saying it was unfair or whatever. It doesn't matter. It's been a ping pong match of back and forth on this stuff for years now. And so
my favorite Reagan quote, Steve, do you know what it is? Oh man, I forgot to turn my phone off. That's what that was. Oh. Sorry.
So the Reagan quote was, it wasn't like, I'm from the government, I'm here to help.
That's what it is.
Oh.
That is the Reagan quote. That's what it is. I'm from the government and I'm here to help. And I think this wasn't documented, but I think he followed that up with never underestimate the government's ability to F shit up.
Right.
I think that's the end of that quote.
Well,
Don't quote me, but I think that's right.
I think the problem with any government program is the same with any regulatory action that tries to correct a specific situation by using a broad brush, which affects so many things. So, we're talking about student loans again. You and I were talking the other day about how the federal student loan program has been in such turmoil with no common pattern moving forward. All of a sudden loans are forgiven, or they're not, or they're being sued to avoid forgiveness, or you've been in a program and they're not forgiven, or whatever it is. There is no stability in the federal student loan program. And here's the thing that drives me absolutely crazy is I understand that high school counselors tell people they need to go to college. I understand parents say you need to go to college. I understand kids want to go to college oftentimes because they want to get away from mom and dad. But if we look at college education as a good financial choice, there are much better ways to achieve a college education. Like, for example, here's one important fact I want everyone to keep in mind and consider, which is when about 75% of people who go to college have the student loan debt, but never graduate and get the benefit of the degree. So if you're graduating high school right now, you're not quite sure exactly what you want to do, what you want to study and go to college. If you want to go to college and get a dance degree, a history degree, an English degree, or some other bullshit thing, save your money and take 1 year off have a leap year, jump year, skip year, whatever you want. Try to
Pirouette
figure out
year.
exactly what it is that you want to do before you go to college. And then when you do go to college, do not go to an expensive school out of state. Start at your local community college and, get your base classes under you. Make sure that they're going to transfer to your in-state school that you're going to go to or wherever, and be financially smart about getting an education for the least amount of money that you can. Or, Damon, what else can people do besides going to a 4-year school?
Just tell an employer that they have a degree, even if they don't.
You could lie about it.
It's cheaper that way.
Right.
No,
Or,
I'm not advocating that. That's a joke. That's a joke.
well, it might be a joke, but there's some truth built into that. Is it
Well, there
better
was
to
also
go?
a joke in our Penny Stupid podcast when I talked about a lady faking Uber accounts and made $750,000 and went to jail for 1.5 years. And I said, there's a lot of people that might take that trade. It was a joke, but a lot of people went, huh?
If you take the morality out of the statement, is it better to go to college and get a $100,000 English degree, or to fib that you have an English degree and save the $100,000?
Take the morality out of it. I know which one I'm picking.
Yeah.
As long as if you can do the job, you can do the job. Anyway,
Right.
But the point that you're alluding to, I mean, there's plenty of jobs that have been deemed for the last 10, 15 years to be beneath people. Oh, that's blue collar. That's working with your hands. But I know a lot of, auto mechanics that are super happy. They went to a technical school, learn how to work on cars, and are making 6 figures a year with no debt right now. And their friends that went and partied at UC San Diego or whatever, and are dealing with $150,000 in student loan debt, and they're 30, they're wishing they made different choices, Yeah. And Steve, what's the number one reason college is so damn expensive?
Federal student loans is probably number one on the list, because the more people had access to easy money without any sort of qualification, the schools readily sold people into getting their butts into seats and taking the student loan money. And then they used the money to expand campuses, build more buildings, pay higher salaries, whatever. It just drove the cost of college tuition sky high.
Yeah, it's a classic example of government trying to help and having massive unintended or potentially intended consequences, depending on who you're asking, right?
Yep.
But it came from this idea of, well, everybody should have access to a quality education. That sounds great. Everybody should have access to a quality education. So the government stepped in and did what? Started guaranteeing loans. Because on one hand, you think, why is a bank so stupid? It doesn't make any sense. Why would a bank loan $100,000 to somebody who, as you said, wants to get a dancing degree or a history degree? That doesn't make any sense. The bank's not likely to get paid back. They got to be smarter than that. They don't want to lose money. Don't the banks have people that are smart? Don't they have someone sit there and go, yeah, I don't think we could loan you. I know the college is charging $30,000 a year for this dance degree that's going to take you 5 years, but I don't think that's a good investment for us. And the government says, hold on.
Right.
We got you. Yeah, it's going to be a good investment. We're going to guarantee that for you. And the bank goes, oh, the government's going to guarantee it? How much did you need?
Yeah, here you go.
Good luck, Johnny. Dance your ass off.
Federal student loans started well-intended, like every other government program, in that the idea was, in order for America to get ahead, we needed to help better educate our workforce and people to have higher skills to compete more in the world. Makes perfect sense. But when the blind are leading the blind and people are headed off to college at 18 years old with no real idea about what they want to do, and they're just racking up, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of debt, it doesn't make any common sense. And it's no surprise that many people end up disappointed, and grandma loses her Social Security check, and the parents are getting sued for co-signing and all this other stuff. Don't do it.
Yeah. And the irony is, the thing that started to allow more people access to college has now turned into nobody can go to college unless you're extremely wealthy or you're willing to be an indentured servant for a large extent of your adult life to the bank, to the government. I mean,
if I was
there's millions of people that went to college that are buried in loans right now that if they could do it over would never go to college again. If they could turn back the clock and say, would you go back to college knowing what you know now with these loans and the job you have and all that stuff? They would say no, absolutely not.
I wouldn't go back to college. Would you go back to college?
You got Google. What do you go to college for? I mean, really, other than the experience,
right?
It's not like it was in the 70s where it's like these colleges have the knowledge and I got to get in the door so I can get the knowledge, and they have the libraries with the books, and the books have the knowledge that I need to get ahead. You have access to every piece of information you could possibly want. You don't have to go to college. So why do people, my employer requires a college degree? Maybe.
Well, yeah, that's becoming less and less true.
It, baby.
Less and less true that they're requiring a degree. So, yeah, if you got the skills for the position that's open, you don't need a degree. Now, as an example, here's a good example, being a pilot. If you go to pilot training and get for the least amount of money and you work your way through, you get your single engine, commercial, multi-engine, start landing a crappy paying gig, building hours and stuff, you can get onto a major airline eventually for $200,000 less than somebody paid to go to an aviation program.
Yeah.
So vocational schools can be a good thing, and I wouldn't discount them. And I also would not discount this whole thing about taking a year off. I think, hey, get a local job, do something, go listen to our Penny Stupid channel on YouTube and, learn how to do side gigs.
Yeah, you can. Well, unfortunately, side gigs would pay you enough money to put yourself through college if it was 20 years ago. If the government didn't get involved in student loans, you could DoorDash your way through college, but the government screwed that one up.
Yep. All right, Damon, are there any hot burning topics that have crossed your desk recently?
Yeah, we had one that we were going to, not hot burning topics that have crossed the student loan stuff's just been a disaster forever. And I know, the latest fiasco with the SAVE plan is what caused us to kind of start talking about it again. Yep. But I really kind of wanted to focus on, people that have loans, it's a disaster. And, you got to take it almost day by day these days with this program and that program. And now we're going to do this, but now that someone's suing that program, and we're going to, I don't know how it's all going to play out, but for people that don't have loans yet, your kids are in high school or junior high, now's the time to start planning. Back when I was a kid, there was no planning as much as, well, you're going to college. It was a given. Like there's no if, at least in my household, it was, we all got straight A's. We were all Eagle Scouts. You're going to college, right? It was just more of which college you're going to go to and, what do you want to study? But I think that conversation is dramatically different these days, especially because parents today, many of them still have this huge burden of student loans themselves. Right. They're seeing the aftermath of that, and they're feeling how they're feeling in life, and almost like this helpless feeling, like, how am I ever going to get out of this? And now they're looking at their 12-year-old, 13-year-old going, I don't want that life for my kid. Right. And so that's a very important conversation to have. And you mentioned this at the beginning, take a year off. There are certain things that, if your son or daughter wants to be a lawyer or a doctor or some highly skilled, profession that requires much more than a 4-year degree, they're going to have to go to college. There's no, we can go to the Caribbean Medical School.
Yeah, whole setup. Right.
I can tell you what, it's not. It might seem cheaper and faster, but I have clients that went that route.
Yeah,
and they have not even been able to pass the tests they've been needing to pass to get the jobs they need to get to pay it back. So, there are times where they're going to have to go to college, and that's fine. But if your child does not know what they want to do, I just wouldn't do it, or go to a junior college, right? That something that you could DoorDash your way through a junior college these days still, but do not go to some 4-year school paying out $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a year just because you can get a loan if you don't know exactly what you need, that what your son or daughter wants to do and is likely going to be able to do, has the aptitude and desire to do. And you have to look at that as an investment. Is that a good investment? Is this 150 grand in student loans that we're going to be left with a good investment because of the return that we're potentially going to get? And in more than half the cases, I would say the answer is going to be no. That's a horrible investment.
Well, if I look back on my 18-year-old self, I would not have been, there's no way I would have been able to make a good decision about what my future looked like because I just didn't have enough experience, right? But you have a degree in finance and I have an MBA, and there's nothing that I ever needed the MBA for. And you probably never needed your degree, because if I had to do it again, I would go learn a skill. Like a CNC machine operator, or something I'm personally very interested in is logistics. I would love to know how to organize and move things around the world and do that for a bigger company. However, all that being said, what I know about my personality is I would not want to work for a big company again ever. It just sucks the life
worked
out
for your
of it.
share. Didn't you used to work for IBM
I did.
and Hewlett Packard, or no?
No, not Hewlett Packard, but IBM. I mean, it was just meeting after meeting after busy work, and it was soul sucking. So why did I want to go to school, get an MBA or a finance degree like you, and then go work at a job that I hate? How does that make any sense?
Well, it only makes sense if you don't think about it, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, that's what we've been told for 30, 40 years. You're even, Hillary Clinton, right? College graduates make $1 million more over their lifetime than non-college graduates. It's just politicians, parents, our society is almost like, if you don't go to college, you must be a loser.
Right.
That's kind of so if you're a parent, of course you don't want your child to be a loser, right? So, I just have to sign this and my kid could go to school. And then, of course they're going to make more money because now they're going to be college educated. And I know that college educated people make $1 million more. So they'll be able to pay this back. It's all BS. I mean, it's kind of a scam. If you think about it, for a lot of people, it's a scam.
Well,
what's the definition of a scam?
What?
I don't know.
Oh,
college.
Well, one thing I would like people to think about right now is, if you're struggling with student loans or your parents are struggling with student loans, Damon is always there. You can talk to him. You can go to his website, Damonday, DAMONDAY.com. Damon, barely got
Dude,
that.
Are you okay?
I'm apparently I'm having a stroke.
I'm not always here. Sometimes I'm not always here because sometimes I'm door dashing or
that's true.
Walmart sparking or Instacarting. Go to our
showing
Penny
people
Stupid
how
channel,
to
check
earn
that
extra
out.
money.
I can show you how. Well, yeah, I show you how to make some extra money so you can pay for these damn student loans.
Well, I mean, like my daughter just did a month long class from Harvard Business School and completed it, and has a whole new set of skills that she can use, and has a Harvard Business School certificate that she completed the class. And I think it was $1,100.
Yeah. There's definitely ways to, but again, it starts with planning, right? Figure out what you want to do and then figure out what's the least expensive way to be able to get to that point, right?
Yeah.
Like, you don't always need to do the $150,000 4-year degree. It doesn't make you special anymore. It makes you everybody's got a $150,000 degree these days. And like underwater basket weaving's 150 grand by the time it's all said and done.
Let me digress for a minute. In looking for what are the most popular personal finance things that people need to know about, and I asked ChatGPT, what is something unique that people could do to save more money? And it came up with the benefits of the coin jar challenge. Basically, taking a jar, putting all your change in it, and then, putting that in a savings account. Who has change anymore?
ChatGPT is behind the time. Dude, I think I happened like a month. I don't even remember the circumstances. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
But I had to pay for something with cash. I don't know if I I don't know if they didn't take an American Express card. I don't remember the situation, but I remember I was like, oh crap, do I even have cash? And I had like a 5 or a 10 or something.
Yeah.
And I paid, and they gave me like coins, change. And I'm like, what do I put in my pocket? I'm like, the last time I had change in my pocket?
I don't even carry money anymore.
Yeah. Well, I usually carry like 20 or $40, just in case.
Yeah.
But it's like, so Chat GPT is awesome, but it's not perfect. It's the old Dave Ramsey envelope system. I don't think Dave teaches that anymore, does he? Or maybe he does. I don't know.
I don't know. But
remember that you get cash in the envelopes and you carry your grocery envelope into the grocery store? And who's going to do that?
So here's something. The 52-week money challenge. I'd not heard about this before. But in order to help you to start saving money, the first week, out of 52 weeks in the year, the first week you save $1. The next week it's $2. The next week it's $3. So every week you add one more dollar to the amount that you're saving. So at the end of the year, in the last week, you're saving $52 for the week. By the end of the year, you'll have almost $1,400. And, that's pretty much easy money. And now at a 5% interest rate for cash reserve account, you're looking at an extra $65 on top of that for doing nothing. That's pretty sweet.
Or you could just follow our Penny Stupid YouTube channel, and I could show you how to make that every month.
Yeah, work for 2 weeks.
A few hours. Yeah, a few hours a week. And then at the end of the year, you could have $20,000. That would be cool. Or you could save a dollar a day and just keep adding $1 and have $1,400 for the year. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just,
right.
What are you going to do with $1,400? Go to McDonald's twice?
Well, people struggle with finances. And
you didn't get my joke, Steve. That was an inflation joke.
I got it. I heard it on I heard it on the Penny Stupid podcast.
Don't make that joke. Change the words.
So, anything else you want to add on today's Get Out of Debt podcast?
Well, I mean, we covered be smart about what you're doing for your kids. Don't just blindly enroll them in college and sign up for loans. Avoid student loans at all costs. If you can figure out a way to avoid student loans, I do want to emphasize the government's culpability in this freaking mess that they're trying to fix. Because as you know, I'm always about blaming the government.
Well, and it doesn't matter what political affiliation is in office either. It's been the same all along.
I'm from the government, and I'm here to help.
Yeah,
but that's the reason why colleges have just become impossibly expensive, because it just made easy access to money. I know what I want to. I have a suggestion for whatever administration is in office.
Yeah.
It's going to be a mess to fix what's already happened. But moving forward, I have a good suggestion on how we can fix this mess with the student loans.
Do tell.
Instead of the government guaranteeing the loans, because the banks are going to have to loan the money, right? And it's going to have to be a good deal for them, because the problem would be solved right away. Don't guarantee the money, and then bankers would decide who can go to college or not. Fine. But here, I got a better solution. Instead of the government guaranteeing the loans, the colleges that the loans are going to guarantee the loans. Dude, how brilliant am I? I thought of that last night. This shit would get fixed tomorrow.
Oh,
if the college was on the hook for the money, if I took $100,000 to get your stupid ass degree, and with your education after 4 years, I couldn't get a job that paid that back, the college eats the money. Boom. I'm here all week, boys. It's done. It's over. I fixed it. Put me in government.
All right. So next time we're going to be talking about some other personal finance thing. If you have a particular topic that you would love for us to talk about, go to Damon's website, DAMONDAY.com, and fill out his contact form. Let him know what the topic is, and we'll take a deep dive next time. Damon,
or just go to our main site too, right? Getoutofdebt.org. It's got our podcasts on there.
Yeah, I just don't know if I have a contact form on there anymore.
Well, yeah, but my name's on the front page. But just go to our forum, subscribe to our podcast, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're on the Penny Stupid, the Side Hustle channel we're at 982, 983, Steve?
984.
984. Get us to 1,000, man. We're right there and we're brilliant. We need to be at 1,000. It doesn't really do anything, just makes us feel good.
Yeah. It improves our self-esteem.
Yeah, we did it. We made 1,000. 1,000. You like us. You really, really like us.
Until next time, Damon, see ya.
Peace.